Hey everybody, it's Nick and Chelsea Drislow here with the Drislow's Happy Home team, and here to chat with you about how does the inspection negotiation process work when you are selling a home. So we previously covered why is it a good idea to have an inspection done, what does the inspector cover in that, and also how does the inspection negotiation process work when you're a buyer. A buyer can basically request one of four options with a negotiation of their inspection. They can either say, okay, the inspection's perfect, we're waiving it and moving forward to closing as is. They could request specific repairs to be done to the home. They could also request credits in lieu of repairs or in addition to repairs, or the buyer can also have the option to terminate based on their inspection. So let's say, I'm selling my home and the buyer has requested some repairs through their inspection. So we now have their list of requested repairs. Oftentimes sellers kind of are curious, so can we see a copy of the inspection report? They want maybe some validation or want to know everything that's going on with their house. So is it a good idea to get a copy of the inspection report if you are a home seller?
Heck no. On a regular basis, I would say that's generally not a good idea unless you're just really want to fix everything that's on the list and you're somebody who's just crazy wants to make sure everything's perfect. But for the most part, that just can lead to disclosure issues. So we generally don't want to see the full-blown report. We just want to stick to what's this buyer want for them to be happy moving forward with the house. How do we make this buyer happy so we can move to the next step? So really finding out what's wrong with the house is irrelevant because really we just want to know what's going to make this buyer proceed to the next step. And if you find out that there's a bunch of stuff wrong with the house and things don't work out with this buyer, then the next buyer is somebody that you get to disclose all of this information to, because it kind of, by having this formal document delivered to the seller, they basically have a hard time saying they aren't aware of these issues. So as soon as you're aware of an issue, you have to disclose the issue, and this constitutes actual knowledge. So if you actually have knowledge of the issue, then you have to disclose it. So by having a formal document from a professional inspector saying this is what's wrong with your house, you'd have a hard time saying you weren't aware of it. So let's stay unaware.
Right. So, and sometimes we might request, hey, can you send us the page of the report specific to that deficiency that they're requesting?
Right.
So
rather
rather
that we
than
can see, how much of a repair do we need to do? Sure. And we want to get a little bit more detailed information, but we just want that part.
Got it. So, okay, so let's say we are clear on that, and so now we're getting ready to respond to the buyer on these repair requests. So what is sort of the best way to handle repair requests as a home seller?
As a home seller, I generally would advise to try and handle everything as much as possible via credit as opposed to doing the repairs. That can also help things be streamlined as far as not having to worry about finding contractors and getting them timeline-wise to working with what your closing time frame is. So it can be in the best interest of time, but also so that the buyer can have the repairs done the way they want, and also so that you're not accidentally opening up a can of worms that you didn't know was an issue. So you could maybe have the buyer ask for you to repair a little flashing detail here at the roof. You go to repair that flashing detail and then you find out, oh no, there's some dry rot, and now there's this dry rot that nobody would have known if we hadn't opened up the wall. Most inspectors don't have x-ray vision, so they cannot necessarily see what's going on. So we've now opened up a can of worms, and now it's on the seller's time, not on the buyer's time. So we'd rather that can of worm get open for the buyer when we're representing the seller.
Got it. So as you can see, there really isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It really depends on what part of the transaction you're playing and then what's going to be kind of the most streamlined and less problematic or complicated issue that could come up. And it's very, very rare that we have a transaction go sideways because of an inspection. Usually there's some way we can find a way to restitute that. So if you have more questions about the home buying or home selling process, feel free to call, text, visit us online, happyhometeam.com.
happyhometeam.com.